Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Yalek, and I knew there was something I intended to make a video about from yesterday, and for the life of me this morning I couldn't remember what it was until I just did this. And we'll come back to that in a second. The reason I was reminded is that this was a situation exactly like these from yesterday, and using the particular trick that I used here was what prompted the memory. So I was literally in the middle of a hit a couple days ago, and all of a sudden something occurred to me. It was a hot beach, but I also wanted to do a side flare landing, and you don't really want your warriors taking rocket fire while they're running on the beach. So had already pressed attack and had a thought and ran with it. And this was not it. This was me trying it out a second time. This is an NPC base. I had a thought that I could wait on my flare, just drop Bullitt on the beach and let him walk up the beach a little bit, and then flare over to whichever side you're going to. In this case, I don't know, I'm not sure. It was anyway. So whichever side you're going to, Bullitt will then be a little bit higher up the beach than your warriors are, and the warriors will run along the bottom of the beach towards the flare, and Bullitt will run on a path that's somewhat higher, depending on how high you let him get. And the thing about that is, if there's a rocket or something, if things are firing on your troops, they're firing on Bullitt and they're leaving your warriors alone, and that's ideal. And usually, since a rocket takes, I think it's 5 seconds to reload and fire, usually by the time you take the first volley of rockets and you start flaring up to wherever you need to go, the rocket launchers don't end up having time to shoot at you again. So here is what that looks like at regular speed in real life. Tested this out on an NPC just because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't... I just wanted to try it out a couple more times. So Bullitt, and we let him walk a little bit, and then flare over. Now Bullitt is taking shots from the machine gun and taking shots from the boom cannon. Now this is a slight modification of an idea that I've seen many times in Zero videos. If you know who Zero is, he's like the king of the warrior players, taking down globally ranked players with these guys. And we don't need to watch the rest of that because you've seen the relevant part. He would often do his flare landings, flare over to the side, drop Bullitt, especially in situations where people put boom cannons on the beach, because a boom cannon will one-shot your warriors, and you want your warriors for their damage potential. So especially in a situation where there were boom cannons on the beach, he would drop Bullitt, pause half a second or so that the boom cannons would focus on Bullitt, and then start dropping his warriors. This is slightly different because you're not flaring immediately, you're dropping Bullitt and let him get a little bit of ground ahead of you. But same idea, Bullitt takes the fire and your warriors do not. So here was another example from yesterday, and looks like we're going to be flaring to the right, but we do have a couple of rocket launchers on the beach. Don't necessarily need to eat up that fire, so why should we? Bullitt, let him get a little bit of height and follow with the warriors. And now the rockets take so long to reload that we now have time to get everybody grouped up and then start smoking and just follow our usual path. And then that's that. Again, same principle. You've seen the idea, but it works quite well. I don't think I would do this in a blaster situation. I wouldn't do it in a shock launcher situation where there's a shock launcher covering the beach, and obviously not in a grappler situation. But in most other situations, you're just fine to go ahead and do this. And I've got one more to show you, but I'm a little obsessive about my sculptor. I'm sorry about that. I can't help it. I like to keep things clean as much as I can. And then so finally, I'm here doing an Intel dump for the DTs, and here's that hit from a few minutes ago. 4 minutes ago. Really? That short? Seemed longer. Anyway, so this is my 56 versus a level 65. He has ice and a shield, and I'm going to play this whole hit because this was a pretty good hit. There's 2 ice back there. Never love... Actually, one of the only annoying thing about this base, fairly easy base, the only annoying thing about this base is that there's not a lot back here next to the shield generator. So when I run back here, obviously I'm fully boosted for this. When I run back here, he's giving me a nice flare point after I take out the shield generator, but unfortunately, when I go to re-smoke my warriors, after they pop the shield gen, they're going to run all over the place looking for new targets. So there's that one moment in this that doesn't look clean, but there's not a whole lot you can do with that. Also, that was a 2. I let my warriors go 2 swings on that. I might have been able to get away with 1. I'm not sure. I didn't notice it was a 2. I was just assuming it was a shield gen 3. Anyway, down is down. And I was deliberately going conservative on the GBE, so you'll see where that comes in later. And actually also right off the bat, because rather than going full mine clearance, I left this up here, was not going to be a problem, and I left 2 of these. Now you'll notice specifically here the blaster does not range the beach. That's the key feature here. Hi eBay, how you doing? I probably don't care. So my concern here was that these rocket launchers, they look pretty set back, and maybe they wouldn't have been able to get my warriors, but I wasn't 100% sure. So I wanted, if there was going to be any fire taken, obviously I wanted Bullitt to be the one doing that, not the warriors. I am very interested to see. Now, first of all, watch the shock mine. Shock mines and warriors, I say it all the time, but they don't do what people think they do, because then those warriors come unshocked and have plenty of time to catch up to their buddies back here when that was just the 1 swing. So that's part of the reason that my troops ended up spreading so wide there. Other than that, not a huge concern. Stretched out the smokes a little bit too much there, but again, it was deliberately trying to make this economical, and specifically ignored this stuff because I didn't think I was, I mean, I thought the base was going down regardless of whether it was shocked or not, which ended up being the case. If I had needed to, I did have another shock there that I could have used, but either way, that was sufficient. But yeah, really cool trick. Just let Bullitt run up the beach a little bit, and then your usual flare landing, and Bullitt does his job, which is getting shot at, and your warriors get to do what they love, which is to run in absolute peace and quiet. So anyway, nice quickie video there. It's a cool trick. If you use warriors, try it out. Like I said, just it occurred to me as I was going to drop troops one time a few days ago. Just, hey, wait a minute. It was a way to preserve myself a little bit, and I'm liking it, so I'm using that as much as possible. Anyway, like the video, thumbs up. If you already knew about this, feel free to say, well, laugh at my expense. I've never seen that before, so I thought that was cool. Anyway, I will catch you guys later.